Hey there, fans of brotherly love wrestling. It is I, Vic Delicious.
Philly's own, the Mecca here.
It is the real McCoy, J.D.X. Justin D. Xavier. And
it's your man, CD, the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend RJ City.
Hey there, brotherly love wrestling. Bill Carr here.
Hey everyone, this is two-time guest Wheeler Yuta.
Two bozos from Philadelphia flapping their gums about pro wrestling this, pro wrestling that.
Which is not that unique in the grand scheme of things yet.
You are in for a treat because you're tuned in to Brotherly Love Wrestling.
Philadelphia, are you ready? No! They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome, everybody, to Brotherly Love Wrestling, and on our show today, a returning guest, the OPW Heavyweight Champion, Kit Osbourne. Kit, welcome back to the show.
Oh, man, thanks for having me. We only talked briefly, like, hey, do you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, and then just had, just problem after problem every time.
No, it's cool.
I mean, it wouldn't be you if it wasn't that, right?
No, not at all. I'm late to everything. In my head, I'm like Bret Hart. And then in the ring, I'm not, but whatever.
Can I make a request? Can you do a show with the hat on behind you?
No, I'm not doing it. I knew you were gonna fucking act. The second you saw it, I was like gonna show off my nice little Shawn Michaels wall.
I want you. Do you got the vest to match it?
No, I don't. You know what? I wish they had the gloves. I got none of that shit. So that's all I got. Plus, the other reason is it gets dusty as shit.
You can't mess up the hair. I understand that. You just can't. Yeah. You don't want to get dust.
All gross.
Yeah.
Getting all over my bed here. Oh man. But can we just talk about how we're recording this literally minutes after the Phillies lost? And that is the worst. I'm like trying to keep calm here, and I'm just like, if I was strong enough, I'd break this glass in my hand like a fucking egg.
Look, like I said, we have
no one wants to hear your goddamn logic behind
There's
it.
plenty of games still to go. It's tied 1-1. There's no need to stress out.
It should be 2-0 going into Philly. 2 more games, game over. Bring us to the fucking
it's funny when things like this happen, like my rage comes out, but like when it comes to me being, like I said, like me being on time or to anything, I'm just like, no, we got plenty of time. I don't need to worry about it, Calm down, It's always like something like me caring about these millionaires, that are that make more money as they win, and then if I go to the game, I'm just paying them, and I'm just like, and I care so much about him, and I don't know why. And then I go to like my own family, and I'm just like, I don't want to fucking go to that.
Well, if nothing else, you have your priorities in order, it sounds.
Yeah, I mean, at least I'm honest about them. I'm not over here going family first, get the tattoo on my side, and then not go to Thanksgiving,
But why not Thanksgiving? Why that holiday? I feel like that's a great holiday to spend with your family because you just get to eat. You don't have to talk that much. You just stuff your face and then you fall asleep. So really, you're getting free food and then a nap.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, it was. But I think that over the last, I probably ever since I turned like 21, and you just, as you get older and you start seeing who they really are, like they're not just like the uncle that, that you weren't listening to their conversations. Now you're a part of them. And then you're just like, oh, wow, that's how that guy thinks. That's no wonder why my older cousin's drinking a lot more to just deal with it. But that's why it's like, at what cost? Like I can buy, you guys see me cook. Like, I mean, I love, love doing that shit. It's like, I don't need to go all the way. I don't need to go all the way over here to talk about, with your closet racism or homophobia, and then just while I'm eating like turkey,
You could make that turkey at your own house and enjoy yourself. Yeah,
exactly. No, but
You
I mean,
could deep fry it.
there's like that some family that you love to death you don't see often, and then there are those that just like ruin it. But it's whatever. I can just get one of my aunts to get me the leftovers. Let's.
Is it like that in the wrestling world too for you? Like there's people that you're like genuinely excited to see, and then you're just like, ah, fuck.
Oh yeah, in wrestling, at least. I mean, the way I see it is, and it's kind of depressing, is I think of like my friend Sozio, Niles Young, and him and I stay in touch, but man, I haven't seen him in a couple years. And as like these guys slowly retire, and and he doesn't even live that far. He lives in like Bristol or whatever. And, he has a family, they slowly start fading away. And it's kind of just like high school where you see all those friends of yours and then you graduate and then you only, stick around with like maybe 10 of them if you're like, if you're super lucky. And, that's kind of how wrestling is. It's like, am I really going to be able to stay in touch with somebody that lives in Ohio when I'm not wrestling there? God forbid you're in like some really shitty area like Milwaukee or something like that. Like, the fuck when am I gonna go and take a visit there? Because I saw the Dahmer Netflix episode and I just really had a hankering to go to a Brewers game, like, but they slowly start fading away, and then you start forgetting about them, and I see it like in real time, where like every once in a while, like one of them just they just fade out. Like they don't have a retirement match. They just go, like, I just don't really have the interest anymore.
That's gotta be a fucking crazy feeling. Like to just like all of a sudden just be like especially if you like made it like somewhat of a name for yourself and you're just like, I just don't got it anymore. I'm just fucking ready to go.
Well, I think the guys, most of the time, those that fade away are, that are super talented and they're doing really well. They, their priorities, wrestling is a job. However, maybe they're not the kind of person that takes away, they can be taken away from their family for that long to earn this kind of money. So then they find something else. I think, what's his name? Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? No, he's like a fireman. He just came back too, and he's like an MLW. One of the, it's gonna hit me like a little bit, but this guy's like, he's a fireman outside of that, and he would post his shit on Twitter about like, this new passion, and then he just kind of disappeared from wrestling. And it's not because he wasn't talented or he couldn't go. It was just like family was more important. And that's great. But, me as like somebody who's single and I think somewhat young still, I have no real priority other than to pay my rent, that's why I can do this, and I also have things outside of wrestling that help me out. But, there's people that get tired of the partying and then they just life passes them by, I think. And then, that's how they just start fading away. And then you're just like, oh shit. Like Dan O'Hare, one of my best friends in wrestling, and he's gone. And I'm like, yeah, man, we'll definitely go get a beer. And it's like, I haven't talked to him in 2 months. And I know that we will, but it's like that few and far between. And that sucks. It gets scary too, because then you're like, when's it going to happen to me? Am I going to be that guy that lives at the end of a cul-de-sac, that Bill Burr, like skit where you're just scooping shit out of the gutter? You have a wife that you resent, kids that you're not proud of, and a neighbor you don't even like, that doesn't even listen to you. And you're just like, is this it? Is this what happened? Like, and then you just look back like at your gear and like pictures from matches you had, and times you had in like New Orleans on somebody else's dime. And then you're just like, That's all gone, man. Now I got to pay for Disney World.
Well,
I'm like terrified of that.
Kit, that and you
Terrified of going to Disney World for the wrong reasons.
Oh, no. Terrified of just getting old and like having that, like there ever being in like a loveless marriage or anything like that. Like that. It's like one of the biggest fears like I have. And I know it's funny, but it's like it's a real thing. I just like, I want to just have fun forever and, and hang out with, the friends that I've made. But, everybody grows up and you just like have to realize that one day. And I'm just like, no, not yet. I'm not ready to. It's there. I mean, obviously I'm talking about it. I'm aware, but I'm terrified of that shit happening. And I know when it does happen, I'm going to fight it, until I like realize like my body can't handle it anymore.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, not too long ago, you faced Matt Tremont, who a year or so ago looked like it was over for him and he was retiring.
And he looked like he was happy about it.
Yeah, it looked like he was content. And because I think we talked to him not long after he, at that time, was
he
retired.
was just still in the school.
Yeah.
And he seemed very content about it and was good about moving on with H2O and all that.
Yeah, but you talk to Tremont, he was like, as soon as you start talking wrestling, like he just gets like really into it, and then like he'll just fucking, and you could see like that's not leaving anybody anytime soon. You're just like, well, especially if you talk like someone who made it a name for himself, like in this area especially, and like just to fucking hear him talk, you're like, man, that guy. He ain't ready to hang it up yet. Like you can tell, like he's like already like I got fucking booking storylines and shit. Like, dude, you're not leaving this.
No. He'll tell himself that, but even when I had him on my podcast like over a year ago, you sense this certain passion with somebody. Like when him and I will text each other on Facebook, and I'll go over like ideas like let's do this and this, and I have like this long story thing, and then he'll have his, and then you get him rolling, and then he is in, and then he wants that to happen because he senses, the way that I like telling stories and like the drive I have when I have something that I'm really working towards, like it's not necessarily just the story I want to tell, but it's the reactions I want to get. And he senses it, and he knows how I explain it to him. And then, he feels it. And like, when you have somebody like that and, you realize, as much as I love wrestling, I know that he loves it 10 million times more. And I can tell, and I'm just like, dude, I'm not on that level. And as much as like, I can be driven, like he is, I feel like I'm like a station wagon, and he's like a fucking Mustang, and when I put the same type of gas in his car, he's going to go fucking a million. I have no idea what I just said. I was trying to in real time come up with like a
good analogy,
different. Yeah. And I couldn't, but fuck it. I mean, all I'm saying is, yeah, his drive is
something about a fucking car that you fill up and he drives fast.
I'm just saying that his
it's a Tracy Chapman song. I get it. He's a fast car.
Right. Whatever. But regardless, he's not going anywhere. He'll never retire. He'll retire a few more times. I probably like I'm gonna if I had to guess, I'm gonna go with like 8 more times before it's over.
I mean, look at the matches that he's coming back for, though. I feel like he's retiring.
He's the best matches ever.
He's retiring, and then like all of a sudden they bring him back, and oh wait, here we go. Here's another fucking once in a lifetime matchup. Like he's not gonna be done with that yet.
He's having, why? It's because right now he's having like the most fun I think he's ever had.
I mean, he's getting all these like fucking dream matches, and he's like, I mean, he's eating it up. I mean, this is like. He's like, what the fuck? He's probably like, what the fuck? You couldn't have done this like 5 years ago? Jesus.
I
it's
think
crazy how time works.
If you watch his matches, I mean, you'll notice that like he's different in the ring. Like, yeah, he does go all out. Like, he's never like not like
he's not phoning it in.
Yeah, he's never phoning it in. Like when it was him and me, he wanted certain things in the match, and and shit, he paid for some of the things, just so we had it. He was like, that's not enough. It's not enough. Like this is he wanted more and more involved. And I'm over here just going, like, I mean, we started like kind of the same time, but I mean, he's obviously a much bigger star, and I'm just kind of going with the flow. But when he starts getting more amped up, then I'm just kind of like egging on. Like, yeah, but what if we got this too? And then he's like, yeah, we should definitely get that. And you're just like, it's the same thing with Gage. Like I talk to him. I feel like every day. And when we'll text each other, and then if we get into wrestling talk, then he gets pretty amped up, and I can tell he is like as if he's standing up texting, like, and I'm just like, all right, maybe I should tone it down with him. He's probably gonna scare his dog or something. But because like he'll be like, yeah, he just won the championship, and he was like, man, I wish we're here for it. And I'm just like, yeah, well, couldn't make it. And he was like, dude, I'm like, I feel good, but I need to get this ring rust off. And I'm like, well, yeah, man, you got to stop acting like you're Andre and you're some fucking spectacle, and then of course I say something like, yo, if you want me to talk to Tremont, I'll get you, I can probably get you a spot on Undiscovered, and he's just like, but he's just one of those guys that gets like super amped up when you pump him up. And the next thing you know, like that match that was you originally think that somebody like him is going to phone in, and he ain't. Like, he goes all out all the time.
Well, Kit, that's the other thing. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of you on GCW. I feel like GCW is, tailor-made for you. Like that style, especially
those fans are going to hate you. Is probably
that too. But
like you're going to be a great person to hate.
Like I feel like you would fit right in.
I appreciate it. It's not me that makes it up, and I'm sure if you talk to the majority of the roster, they would agree. And that's and I of course that's where I want to be, and I love Brett, to death. He I think I told the story, when I was I interned with CZW. That was my internship in high school to get out early. And I really didn't do it. It was like for video production. And Brett is the one that signed off for me. And like, man, what I would do to have that piece of paper of him basically being the adult that signed off, he's my sponsor. And I would
look at me now, guys.
Yeah. And all I did was I just trained at CZW, and I did one music video to show him that I was doing it.
Does this exist?
Yeah. I'll show you. I'll send it to you. Oh, and it's a damn good. I still like it. It was to promote TOD in 2008. Yeah.
You're dating
I'll
yourself
send it to
now.
you guys once it's over, and you can have fun with it.
It's definitely going to be like the prelude to this episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
People are going to know what the fuck's going on.
But to go back, like, of course I want to be at GCW. Recently, since I broke my ankle like a year ago, I never would have thought that you feel like you're immortal. Really, I go to the gym, I stretch, I do all that stupid shit, and I eat healthy every once in a while.
Boxed wine is a good choice then for your lifestyle.
Yeah, listen, you gotta pick your battles, man. All right.
Basically, get off my back.
I picked my battle when I asked you to put the fucking hat on. I didn't win that battle.
No, it's like what is it? In Kingpin, and he's like, I drinking. He's like, yeah, it's my one vice. And then he like slaps a girl's ass. He's like, all right, 2 vices. But when is this airing?
Probably Friday.
What's today? Wednesday.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But nobody said I couldn't. I think it's supposed to be. I will be working for. I'm doing GCW's their settlement series thing, and that's on Tuesday, so I'll be there doing something.
Nice.
I think I don't know who is exactly going to be in match, but I don't really want to. There's a couple people rolling around they mentioned, but it should be a good one. And somebody that you guys see me wrestle before, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. For a Tuesday. But I don't know
if it was a Thursday or Friday, you wouldn't have looked forward to it that much.
Oh, I look forward to it. I mean, I always look forward to wrestling them every time I do. It's just like it's one of those I could show up, 5 minutes before a match or whatever, like go to the ring with my fucking one shoelace and then and get in there and we could tell a great story. So I'm not worried about it, but definitely look forward to it. I don't know if they're going to advertise it, so that's why I'm like, I don't know, I'll just wait. But they asked me to be on it, so I'm excited to definitely do it. And that's I guess at H2O on Tuesday. Yeah, the H2O Center. So it's just another I don't remember the last time I wrestled for GCW was
the 4th of July show.
No, it was when I wrestled Schlack and I wrestled at Nick Gage, NGI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That was almost a year ago. So that was the last time.
How is your leg? Because I think that was the last time we had you on. Is you were in your car and you said you were still rehabbing the leg.
Yeah.
For some reason you were driving with a broken leg.
Yeah.
Well, it's on my left. I don't know. Do you drive with both feet?
No.
Yeah.
What happens if you brake too hard and your foot slides up and it hurts?
I don't think it is.
And then you cause a goddamn accident. Be a 50-car pileup. Right on fucking 76.
Well, I don't know how you drive, but I don't have my foot on the fucking dash.
I feel like you're a very flexible guy. You could definitely pull off the leg on the fucking dash.
Yeah,
I feel like calisthenics for you.
But
you're talking about how young you are, goddammit.
Yeah. Right. No, but I'll say this: when I broke my ankle, I was saying, and you start realizing, man, you're not immortal. There's no amount of stretching, time in the sauna, or lifting that's gonna stop you.
Actually use the sauna?
Oh, dude, I love it.
Really?
It especially after a weekend of just being a piece of shit, I go in there and I sweat out all the terrible decisions I made. And I just tell myself, this will fix it. This will, or especially, anytime I feel like I'm starting to get sick, I go in the sauna, sweat it out, get a
just
cold
fucking
shower,
spread those fucking germs all over that bitch, right?
Oh, fuck.
Yes, I feel horrible, and soon enough, all you old fucks will too.
Well,
Please,
the sauna is
100
fucking 80 degrees. It's gonna
kill the back.
They'll survive.
I'm pretty sure the germs thrive in the heat and they don't die.
No, I don't think so.
I at least had you question it.
Yes, definitely.
I spoke out of my ass enough to have you question it.
Yeah, and now I'm gonna fucking Google it the second it's over. I'm gonna be in the sauna tomorrow, and I'm gonna literally go, oh shit. It was the same time when I learned that when you throw water on the stones or whatever, it all it is that you're the coolest. I'm the coolest motherfucker in the room, and all it does is attract that steam to go onto you. So you feel like, oh man, I'm sweating this out, and you're like, no, that's not sweat. That's just the steam going into you. So
that's you reverse sweating.
Yeah, it's reverse sweating, and I'm just like, oh shit, I've been doing this for fucking years. But oh man. Oh, anyway, what I was saying was, yeah, the leg is fine. The leg is good, but when I was rehabbing it, and you start favoring, the other side, I'm like, man, I didn't realize that when you put all your weight on my right side, to compensate for it, I'm just putting more weight on joints and everything on the right, and I'm just creating more problems. And I'm realizing I'm walking kind of different, and then I'm like, oh, that's right, it's because your body's out of alignment. And then I'm going, so I finally see a chiropractor, and he's just like, dude, you're all sorts of fucked up, and it's because of your ankle, because you favor it, and so you have one injury and that creates a million injuries unless you get it taken care of. And I'm just like, oh shit, like how many? That's now I know why there are those people that just walk completely normal their entire lives, and the next thing you know, 30 years later, they have like a limp, and it's because of like one injury they had, and they never saw like a chiropractor or got a massage or anything like that. And I'm just like, dude, you don't realize how things work. And then like the same thing with uh when you get like the acupuncture and things like that, and how your nerves work. Like I was having problems with my wrist, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I find out I have carpal tunnel, and then I'm having tendonitis, and then I get like this problem in my shoulder, and I'm just like, what the fuck has happened to me, man, in the course of 1 year, and then Jesus Christ, you just fall apart like that.
I mean, that's got to be the years of the bumps, of taking the bumps.
I don't know about nerves with like my wrist. I feel like it's just me on a computer or on my phone all the time. I feel like the biggest injury for every wrestler on the planet would be their wrist from carpal tunnel, just from looking at their phone and like, glamour searching themselves on.
Are you saying there's a lot of like covered up wrist injuries in the wrestling world? They fight through the pain. We don't give you guys and girls enough credit. You guys are soldiers. Those fucking wrist muscles are fucking tough. Forearms. You gotta start working forearms. That's what you gotta do. Have Popeye forearms. Just think of Popeye.
I'm not eating enough spinach, man.
Not enough spinach. You're gonna need more potassium and at least 3 more box wines.
Yeah. I got to start investing in like some type of organic wine, something that's exactly the same, but like $50 more, a box. So that's the way to go.
Definitely the way to go. I mean, and if you can, buy fancy glassware too.
Yeah, I'm drinking this shit,
Speaking of your wine, have you, I know obviously you have Uncorked.
Yeah.
Are you doing more of those?
I am. I have I have like 3 that I haven't edited.
From a year ago.
Been busy and a little bit busy, and I mean also I'm not busy. I'm just really lazy. Okay.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense. But I have a couple up, and I also have some that I have scheduled. I have Marcus Mathers that who I just defended the title with.
Is he old enough to drink?
I mean, he's not drinking. I'm gonna drink. He's not gonna be with me. So whatever he does,
that's on him.
Problem. Yeah. And I wanted to do a lot of the H2O kids. I feel like, especially they all of them just started graduating. I'm gonna do Nick and I are gonna do another one. We're gonna do a little bit better than, because before I did it with him when I was still doing it on Instagram Live, and it wasn't like a pre-recorded thing. So I think I'm just gonna go to his place because
why the fuck not? It's got to be the perfect setting for what you're going for.
No, yeah. I mean, we probably will end up doing it every time I'm in AC or whatever. He always wants me to stay in his room, and I'm like, all right. And he's like, no chicks, dude. No girls. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like, but he's like, he said he wants to do another one with me, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it in person this time. Let's record it. Like how I did it with Marcus Crane, a couple of years ago, but not on Instagram Live. Just do it,
So coming up, like you said, we already said the one. Going forward, obviously, you've been doing death matches a lot, and that's basically been what you've been focusing on. You haven't been on MLW in a while, right? You left them a little bit ago.
Yeah, I mean, they asked me to do they had a show like a couple months ago at the Melrose Ballroom, but it was like midweek, and they asked me like 2 days before, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I can't. I mean, I couldn't make it. Like, I honestly just couldn't make it because I would. But I also didn't know what they really wanted, and they weren't really specific. And I feel like, they kind of looked at me like, because I'm doing that gimmick. But I really wasn't. I mean, from the second time I was there, the third time I was there, like I'm me. Like I was just part of Team Filthy. But I wasn't, I'm not a Von Erich anymore. I think it's obviously like that joke, I think, sailed, and that's why, they recognize who the fuck I am. And yet they still they kind of looked at, I felt like they were kind of looking at me like more of like a parody type of thing. Like, oh, we'll have you go in the Rumble. That was it. It was the whatever Rumble it was. And then I was just like, oh no, I can't do it. Just because I'm not trying to just get beat up by the Von Erichs, so that was just my thought of it. And then I just couldn't do it also.
So it worked out for you.
So I'm not gonna negotiate something that I'm not even able to go to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, I love MLW. I think that their structure is just it's impeccable because there's no fat. Like they could shoot 4 episodes in 4 hours, and make it work and make the quality just it's perfect. And it's definitely a promotion I would love to go back to, if they'll have me. But I just don't I think that the whole character or what they had for me is a little stale. And right now I think it's over. Like it's been too much time. Plus Tom's not even there anymore, and I really don't know who's in it anymore. But I mean, the highlight I ever had was Tom and I, in the locker room, and we're just kind of poking at Savio Vega, and we're like, hey man, we were talking to Court. He said he wants you to be in the Rumble, but he wants you to wear your your Nation gear. And he's like, oh, dude, man, I forgot it. And we're like, dude, rule number 1, man, you got to bring your gear to wrestling. You never know what they're going to ask for. And he's like, oh, shit, dude, but then
he doesn't have any pull in that fucking place. He could have just been like, dude, I'm not fucking doing that. He fucking got
kidding. It wasn't real.
I know, but he should have known. Be like, dude, I'm fucking.
He's playing along with us. He was just like a really cool dude that was just he was like, oh man, dude, shit, did Court say that? Yeah, and yeah, it was just one of those rare times, man, where we were about to go out there, and I just was like, I'm like, man, if I don't get a picture with fucking Savio Vega, I'm gonna regret it, And I usually don't ask for pictures, and I'm like, that's shit's bullshit. Like for now on, it's like take a picture with anybody you want. You're not gonna be called a mark or any of that stupid shit. It's like just fucking do it,
I mean, who cares if you are something that you want to do?
We all are. And that's the thing. It was just me being growing up or being trained to think this certain way, by guys like DJ, and fuck that. It's like, man, if I want a picture with somebody, I want it. Like whether it's not for the likes, it's for me. It's for me to be like, guess what? When I'm that guy and I'm in a loveless marriage, I can look back at my pictures, and I can go,
there's Savio fucking Vega.
Savio Vega, and he hit me with a kendo stick, and it was wild, and I never thought when my 7-year-old self was watching him on Raw that was gonna happen, 20 years later.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. That is crazy.
I'm just noticing. I'm like, oh, I don't want this to die.
It would be an interesting way to end.
Yeah, right. It's like Kit's 7-year-old self. He lived the dream. he took a picture with Savio Vega,
and he's gone.
Yeah. Hold on here. Oh, here we go.
Pretty good picture. What kind of phone are you rocking?
This is a 12 Pro Max.
All right.
Yeah.
iPhone camera. I knew it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not one of those fucking green text bullshit phones.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody who has an Android the other day, and I was just like, how do you even defend it?
You can't. There is no defense. Nothing
No,
makes up for the green text.
You're just trying to. You're just all you're doing is like, oh, I'm not like, what are you not conforming to? Like Android isn't a fucking $1 billion company. You know?
They all cost the same. They all cost over $1,000.
Yeah, like, oh, what, yours now? Like it's a flip phone again, but it's not. Like, make up your fucking mind, dude. You know,
It's a flip phone, but it's not.
yeah, like, it's a flip phone, but you don't have to use it as one. But like, you know, the camera's shitty no matter what, and it's still the same price. It's slow. The next thing you know, the battery explodes. You know, at some point. Like I used to have a Samsung Galaxy S2 and S3, and I remember loving it, you know, for a little, and then and then I got an iPhone 5, and I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? You know, anybody that otherwise.
So, Kit, we talked about the Phillies, but how about your other team, your football team?
Yeah, my 4-2 fucking Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah, the team that just lost to the Eagles on Sunday night.
Yeah, they did. They certainly did. You know, with our backup. Yep.
Wait a second. The backup that was taking over the world and was
taking over the world. I think he's great backup.
Every sports analyst said that he could be a quarterback controversy with him and Dak. Until that loss.
I don't think so. I don't think
Dak, he makes up way too much money to be fucking sitting on the pine cone.
Right, exactly. That's number one. But no, I don't see it as I don't see it as any problem at all. I mean, the guy did his job. Like, he was there for the team. Like, one loss, you know, against the undefeated, coveted Philadelphia Eagles, you know.
It does not surprise me why you're such a good heel, because you've been a dick your whole life. You've lived in the Philadelphia area your whole life, and you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. Now you're not just a heel, you're just a dick.
No, I'm not. Listen, let me tell you why. All right, the reason is
you grew up in the 90s.
We were talking about Thanksgiving. All right, when you go to enough Thanksgivings and you go to enough fucking because who plays every Thanksgiving? America's fucking team, and then who do you hear but bitching throughout? Like, I mean, I was a kid in the 90s, so I'm a child in the 90s, and all I hear is bitching about this stupid fucking Eagles from every family member that has some excuse that didn't like the court, like doesn't like whatever X, Y, and Z. You know, like loved McNabb until they didn't. You know, Nick Foles, you know, comes back. But it's the legend of Wentz, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt, can't finish the season. Foles absolutely decimates the fucking competition, wins Super Bowl MVP, and he doesn't even get to celebrate before everybody's like, well, man, I can't wait for Wentz to be back. And you're just like,
there's not a lot of people that said that.
Yeah, I'm like everybody, you know.
Everyone was riding with Big Dick Nick.
But Foles had a bad beginning, and then you were immediately turned on him as if he didn't just give you the fucking Super Bowl you've been waiting for the first time ever, you know, the first championship.
He got a fucking statue. What the fuck are you talking about?
Huh?
He got a fucking statue.
Yeah, those shit, he got a statue. He's the MVP. Like, even
what
if
do you mean he didn't get to celebrate? He got a fucking immortalized on fucking out of steel.
Two women. He has a statue outside the stadium.
What the?
Ray Lewis has a statue outside of Baltimore, and he fucking is a murderer and a rat. Like, so, you know, anybody can get a statue. I'll get a statue tomorrow. I fucking swear to God I will.
Outside of your local Walmart doesn't fucking count.
A Wawa, not a Walmart.
I don't know. Where do you get your fucking deathmatch light tubes? It ain't fucking Wawa. It's definitely Walmart.
Fucking deathmatchesrus.com, you know?
There should be something like that, though.
I mean, sure after I said this, somebody's going to listen and they're going to do it, and they're going to make a lot of money.
They're going to find, like, they're going to go to construction sites and be like, oh, they just debulbed all these fucking lamps, and we're going to fucking take them all and sell them.
I go tanning, right? And when I go tanning and I see, like, I'm like, man, you know, what do they do with all the fucking bulbs that they when they die and they take them out? And I'm just like, oh man, dude, this is a whole thing for wrestling.
It's like a hand-me-down, a use again, scratch and dent wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. This thing made everybody feel really good about themselves, and now it's about to make somebody like feel like shit.
But it's
You
about to
know,
make other people feel really good about it. It's the circle of life.
you know, if there were tanning salons in whatever bumblefuck area Ian Rotten lives in, I'm sure he could capitalize on it. But right now he's just going to Walmarts that like, you know, that are abandoned. And he's just picking them up, like the ones that are like the blackest, like dirtiest looking light tubes have been there for 30 years, but nobody touched them. You know, and that's what he gets. Oh,
Kid,
God.
do you watch like televised wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your favorite product to watch?
You're still a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I don't watch it all the time, but I definitely like I keep up. I mean,
Do you watch for your friends?
Huh?
Do you watch just to see your friends?
I watch it for my friends, and you know, and I also like, you know, there's still like they had like the DX thing, and I was watching so many like clips of that, and like so there are things that attract me, but like
Nostalgia.
AEW is like most of my friends, like, you know, NXT, like Joe Gacy, like one of my good friends, you know, and you know, so yeah, I keep up to like see, you know, how they're doing or, you know, what they're up to and stuff like that. Drew Gulak is my number one trainer, and I see him every time I'm in Orlando, but you know, and I just see what he's up to, and so yeah, I mean, I do it mostly for friends, you know, but don't get me wrong, like there are times where I can get involved in it. Like
You'll get locked in still?
Yeah, absolutely. It just depends on the story. And also like I have the same you know, attention span as the next wrestling fan. You know, like we all the second, you know, we have smartphones, it became incredibly more difficult to keep our attention, you know.
Yep.
Or the fact that like I can look at what happened on Raw in real time on my phone, you know, rather than have to be there at home at 9 o'clock to watch it.
You can pick and choose what you want to watch.
Exactly. And
Didn't have that.
And if you miss it, you see it like in 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks. Like you didn't want to miss it. You couldn't miss it. You couldn't miss it because your friends at school would purposely ruin it for you.
Right.
Or they would keep
TV, you know, and that doesn't exist anymore. But I mean, it's good and bad. Like if we missed the nostalgia of, you know, like you know, arguing with your sister to grab the fucking remote to make sure that you put it on, like that nostalgia of, you know, doing that. But however, you know, would you really go back to that? Yeah.
No, I mean to have everything that you've ever had that you could ever need at your fingertips it's a tough task to take away. Do I feel like it would be beneficial sometimes? Absolutely. Like there's times where you absolutely don't need it. And it's probably majority of the time where you actually don't need it. I mean, depending on what you do for a living. But I mean, I use it for my map or where I'm driving to next. Like I need it for that. Because who the fuck wants to use fucking MapQuest anymore? Let me just go to find a fucking FedEx print shop real quick and print out the fucking location I'm heading to next. I'd have to do that like 5 times a day.
I feel like the most outdated question I'm ever asked by, you know, any one individual, like anybody that goes like, hey, do you know how to get to X, Y, and Z? And I'm just like, I just fucking look it up on your phone. Like, I mean, I wanna, you know, I'm like, dude, I don't. It's like when somebody goes out of the way to give me directions to something, and I'm listening, and I'm just letting him talk. I'm just letting him talk because like I fucking already have the answer right here, but I'm not gonna tell him that and be like, you know, a jerk off. I'm like, this guy really genuinely wants to help me. It's very nice, and I'm just like, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Yeah, right at that stop. Duh. Right at that stop sign. And then, you know, and he listens and he's like, oh, so you got it? I'm like, absolutely. I fucking got it. I have picture memory, man. And then like
not what I think was a picture.
Roll the window up, you know, and then I'm just like,
wait, roll
the window up?
The action that you just did proves your age. You said roll the window up.
And we have to call you out on that.
That was awesome.
That was a good one. All right. Damn it. But I mean, you know, it's not as like roll the window up.
If we were deaf, we would have definitely known what you were talking about. If you would have just went this, I probably would have thought you went down an elevator.
It's like, what do you like putting meat in a meat grinder? Like, you know, like an elevator? That's what you got from it?
No, if you were to do this, the point down.
Oh, yeah.
But no,
Like
if you do this, I wouldn't think meat grinder first. I would think roll the window down.
Absolutely.
Or up.
Yes.
But it reminds me of this Mark Maron skit where he's talking about like, he's like, do you have any idea what it was like when you didn't have like you didn't have every answer to every question you've ever had in the palm of your hand? Like, what was it? It's like, who invented peanut butter? And you're like, yeah, fuck it. Fuck, I know. Fuck, man, I know who it is. Like, you can't think of it. He's like, 3 names. Like, fuck it, man. You know, and you're just doing that nonstop. And he's like, and that was sort of your day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your whole day revolved around who the fuck invented peanut butter? Who invented peanut butter? A peanut butter guy. And you're asking your friends, you know, you're getting like the phone at work and you're just like, it's like, dude, hey, who the fuck invented peanut butter, man? Where are you right now? I'm not even allowed to be on the phone right now, you know, and like that type of shit. And he's like, and then you would have a break, you go to lunch, and you would go to lunch and you're not looking at your phone because you don't have a phone, and you're just eating sandwiches. And you're just eating a sandwich, other people eating sandwiches, just looking up at the sky, like people that go to fucking Times Square and they just stop being a person and just look up at shit. And they get fired all because of this asshole from Connecticut that went to New York, you know, but it's a whole other story. But you know, and he does that, and then next thing you know, like you get all the way home, it's dark out, you know, because we still have daylight savings for whatever the fuck reason. And you get home and you see your voicemail red light, and it's your friend. And he goes, dude, like George Washington Carver, man. George Washington Carver. Holy shit. Are you okay, man? Are you okay? I'm at the library. I went in the library. I had to figure out who the fuck it was because I thought you were going to fucking have an aneurysm, you know, and something like that. And like that, to me,
that's a true friend right there.
That skit fucking, I was like, I don't want to go back to those times.
When you actually had to be social, you either had to be sociable or just keep to yourself. I feel like more people were forced to be sociable back then. That's why you see everybody now, because people just don't want to talk to people. That's why nowadays you're just like, there's the whole introvert extrovert thing. I didn't know what the fuck that was until last year. I don't know. I still don't think I get the full grasp of it.
But no, what it is the reason why it's like we're so connected online and then so separate in real life is because, you know, any
nobody likes real life.
Yeah, no, I mean, real life kind of sucks sometimes. But like for example, you and I, we go and we talk. We have an argument, not an argument, but like, you know, a debate about something. It takes 2 seconds for one of us to just go, well, fuck it. Why don't we just Google it? You know, and then when I Google it, I have the answer and the conversation.
Yes.
You know, and then we have to find something else. Mm-hmm. There are people that you don't want to talk to, and that argument that is keeping you guys, or it's keeping us, you know,
engaged.
The conversation, going. It's keeping us engaged. And, you know, when that answer is over, then what the fuck do we talk about? You know, because, and that's what, you know,
I feel like Paul Rudd has done this skit several times.
What? Paul
I feel like that was his whole character in fucking Friends. Like he would just like find like something like not relatable to talk about, and it'd be like a 1-word answer. He's just like, well, that's it. That's all I got. And it'd just be dead radio silence for the next fucking like hour.
I think those moments of silence, or those awkward moments of silence, are like the best. I remember I'm at like a table with a bunch of people that, you know, I know, but I don't really like. And
was by the Thanksgiving table.
Sort of. But, you know, people like my age, you know, our friends, you know, whatever, in my area that don't know me as Kit. and I'm sitting there and I'm you're having conversations, but it's such an empty conversation. I guess I'm kind of an overthinker when I just don't like. I'm one of those type of people that I don't really. I'm social enough, but I like seeing awkward moments. Like I love it. Like it's like my favorite, and if there's somebody that doesn't know that I'm doing that and it actually gets awkward for them, like, oh, man, that's like a good sauce,
I'm gonna forgive you for calling it sauce and not gravy, but
whatever, dude. Yeah. I'm Polish and German. Fuck off.
Oh,
yeah, I know. And one of my best friends is in front of me across the table, and it gets awkward on the whole table of people, and he's just like looks around, like, and just does that to me, and I'm just like, and I like couldn't hold my composure. It was the same thing as like I don't know how to do the whole like missing thumb thing, but just like looking around, and it was quiet and everybody was kind of eating, looking at their phones, and he was just like yeah, and I just started cracking the fuck up. But I don't even know how we got into that. We were just talking about
I don't know where the fuck we started, but I know how it ended now.
Yeah, let's end it with that, right?
That basically sums up how our show goes on a constant basis anyway.
Anytime we bring a guest on, I don't know how we get to half of the place.
Not knowing how we got here is basically it.
Yeah.
That's how our show goes in general.
I don't know how you guys do. I mean, I know like shooting the shit with me, it can be a lot more, it's a lot different than if you're doing it with like somebody who doesn't, like when I think of like a podcast with mine, I just go, I just need talking points, like what's something that he did, what's something I can bring up, what's something that I can tell him about, like, or give him the heads up, like, hey, I'm gonna bring this up. Do you remember that? And they go, no. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna bring that up. So, whatever. So like with me, I'm just like, I mean, plus I know you guys, so I'm just like, oh man, it's great. Like, I'm just hanging out. I'm just drinking wine alone, but I'm not.
Yeah. And that you couldn't have done 20 years ago.
Right. Yeah, not at all. You couldn't have done this. Like what? We would have been using MSN Messenger.
Imagine having a show that's just typed out and it's just words back and forth.
Oh man.
The chat room.
A chat room podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Like I remember
you'd be able to tell who the creeps were right away.
Yeah. MSN or AOL, and then there was Uvu. Like, oh my god. The amount of, oh Jesus Christ.
What was your AOL username?
The instant messenger.
My
screen name.
Yeah, your screen name.
Screen name. I had two. I had Main Event 1989, and then I had and for some whatever reason, I'm not even really a Led Zeppelin fan, but it was Zeppelin 132.
Yeah.
And
so people probably thought you were like 45 when you were in the chat.
I could have.
Like,
when it's funny is like not incredibly too long ago, there was an app, is an AIM app, and I downloaded it and I remembered my password to AIM, and it was that the Zeppelin 132, and I'm on it. And there are people still logged in.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost scary in a sense.
So what my theory is? My theory is they have parents that still have a computer room, and I don't know what the fuck happened, but their power does not go out.
It's just still logged in from 97.
It's on its own backup generator right now, so it never loses power. In case you need to fucking call in, what was the fucking Terminator? The Skynet? In case Skynet comes and fucking crashes everything.
Yeah.
They got their one computer.
They just have a computer room that they have not visited, and the family's too old now. They're in like their 70s, 80s, whatever, and they just don't go in the fucking room.
They don't care anymore.
They probably have a maid that cleans it, or some shit.
She's
you
probably
know?
downloading shit on Kazaa.
Yeah. And that computer is just resting. And the last person to use it was that kid from my high school.
This is like Jumanji.
2005, and he's just, and all it is waiting for is that one person to just hit the desk, move the mouse that's connected by a wire, and next thing you know, that guy's online.
Hold on.
That's just my theory.
I think that's the ending point.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That was the best. Like that was the best clusterfuck to an ending of a show ever. That I don't know if that went full circle. That made some sort of like rhombus type fucking shape, but that did something.
I love it.
That was a trapezoid of an episode.
Oh shit!
Well, like you said, Kit, thank you so much.
Did we talk any wrestling? I don't even know now.
There was some mixed in. I mean, I know we were talking about Tremont, so we were talking about.
We had at least had a couple
point.
wrestlers name drop, but that was about it. I don't know what the fuck we just talked about.
That's all right.
Someone's going to be able to tell us.
That's what this show is.
I mean, shit. At the end of the day, it's like, man, some open people up to something, like, man, shit, I didn't think about it like that, But
this is what life is missing.
Like sometimes we all talk enough about wrestling so fucking much that we forget about real life, and we owe it to ourselves to talk about fucking things like AIM, AIM, and how.
Because you know what? It's that same reason you fucking turned in to watch DX. It's that nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
And when it's done the right way, or it's something that's like a fantastic like talking point, like AOL Instant Messenger, like people will listen and be like, fuck, I remember that. And someone's gonna be like, I remember my fucking screen name too. Mine was Jay Gladstone 15. I'm dating myself as well.
Horrible. Horrible.
My nickname in like all of grade school was Joey Gladstone. Because my name was Joe, I had to be Joey Gladstone. I even had to do the fucking cut it out. I was basically him. That was me.
That's the ending, man. It's just cut it out.
There it is.
All right, Kit. Thanks so much for joining us. Good seeing you. Good talking to you again, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Guys, as always, man. Thank you for your patience and everything like that. Like I was like, oh shit,
Not a problem at all.
You're gonna want to go see Kit on Halloween night.
Yeah,
H2O Arena.
The office,
spooky.
Man, the office is back. I have a promo for that Matt's gonna be coming out with. So anyway, just be on the lookout for it. I appreciate you guys. I love being on your show. I mean, really, it doesn't even feel like I'm on a show. I just feel like I'm just chatting with two fucking friends. I'm just drinking with them. I'm like, hey, how are you? Hey,
Appreciate that.
And that's why we like it, because we don't know what's coming out of your mouth. And I feel like it doesn't matter what question we ask, you're answering as honestly as fucking possible.
Oh man, yo, can we end this real quick so I can be really racist and homophobic? Like,
I want to right now.
Yeah.
The recording has stopped.